Hey guys, what's going on? I guess I should turn the fan off. Actually, I'm not going to turn the fan off because it's hot. So, decided to go ahead and start doing the fuel lines. I guess I'll turn the fan off. It's going to get noisy down there. Decided to start on fuel lines. And decided that I would go ahead and remove the factory lines. I was going to leave them in place, but it's like, if I'm going to get in here, I might as well get in here and do it right. So, you can kind of see I've got the lines mostly, got the lines mostly loose. They just pop right out. It's not a big deal. You can bend these brackets down, bend them out, and just pop the lines out. They're not really held in, except for right here where there is a clamp that's screwed in. And I didn't have my dandy little screwdriver wrench deals. I got a bunch at work, but none here. And I didn't have a 6mm or a would it be a 1/4 inch? I guess it's a 1/4 inch what these things are. Otherwise I would have just, used a wrench, but I didn't have the right size, so I sacrificed this random wrench and welded a screwdriver bit to it and used that to get the screw out because there wasn't enough room to get anything else in there. But once that's out, the lines are out, I should be able to unplug the lines from the fuel sender and then disconnect the lines from the rest of the way, and then the line should come out. So I could, like I said, I could very easily just cut the lines, but they're in really good shape, and this is almost a 30-year-old car, and you can't really find a complete set of preformed fuel lines anymore, and it would just be a shame to destroy them due to laziness. So I'm willing to try to remove them and preserve them, so if someone else needs them, they'll have them, but yeah, so I'm gonna keep crawling around on the ground trying to get these lines out the rest of the way, and then we can move on to building the new AN lines. Hopefully I can just push those through without having to drop the tank. I'm going to leave this vent line in. I'll reuse it. Either I'll just leave it as an open vent, or I'll do something with it, I don't know. So I'm running AN, but I'm not going to drill the head. This guy has a pretty good size sending side on it, right? It's like 3/8, and then we've got this 5/16 return line, and that's a fine size. Honestly, what I should have did was I should have did like a -8 sending and then like a -6 return, but it was just cheaper to just buy a shit ton of -8. So I'll just be using all -8. But anyways, I'm not going to modify the hat. Instead, what I'm doing is I'm doing it the lazy way. Keep getting this guy. I really can't wait to get this thing back in the engine bay. That's what I'm working towards, by the way. Once I get the fuel lines ran and I clean up some more stuff in the engine bay, I'll go ahead and get the engine in. Went ahead and painted up the motor mounts. Got them looking all nice. Probably one of the few people to waste their time doing a tri-coat paint job on freaking engine mounts. So they're gonna look like crud. So anyways, I bought these little adapter doodads. Those are chunky boys. So anyways, yeah, we got these guys. These are Ford quick connect adapters. One's 3/8, one is 5/16. I believe those are sizes. So like I said, rather than modifying the hat, I'm just going to use these adapters because the 3/8 is pretty close. Wow, can't even get my leg up high enough. I'll start stretching. So 3/8 is about high enough. If I get this stupid camera to stay. Come on here. So yeah, 3/8 is about the same size as the Dash 8. So, okay, yeah, it's the right size. Seemed a little small. Have to lube that up so I don't mess up that O-ring in there. So I'll just use these adapters to attach on like so. So the problem with using the factory lines, and I really wish I would have thought of this earlier. Thankfully, I never had a problem. But so when your factory fuel pressure, 42 pounds or 42 psi is all you're ever going to see. But when you're running a boosted engine and you're upping the fuel pressure per pound of boost, you're going to be close to like 80 or 90 psi. Maybe you might see 100 depending on how much boost you got there. So you got 100 psi being held in place by this guy. This is all that's keeping that fuel line on, is this little clip right here. And that's how I was running that with all that fuel pressure. So if you're going to boost a car that isn't currently boosted and it uses these types of fuel lines, these quick connect guys, yeah, just don't. Because I mean, those things can blow off really easily, and then when you got fuel spraying out of the fuel pump at, you know, Mach Jesus. So these, they go on, and then rather than using a clip, you've got this threaded piece that slides on and then screws on. So that's not going anywhere. So that's where those are going to go. Got a little petroleum jelly to lube up those guys so they go on there nice and smooth. Don't want to mess up those O-rings. And that goes on like so. Now you've got a nice connection there that you don't have to worry about blowing off while you're going down the track, making all the piss eyes and spooling the shizzle. Not really necessary on the return side because there really shouldn't be a whole lot of pressure on there, but I need the adapter anyway, so there we go. There's a quick way to add AN fittings to your factory fuel hat. And I get it, a Dash 8 is slightly larger than a 3/8, so it's not ideal, but you know, it's better than the factory fuel line size. So, and plus it's such a short run that it's not a huge deal. So, all right, so I'm gonna go ahead and finish getting these lines out. I'm gonna put some tape on those so that they're not just open to the world. And like I said, we'll get around to making some lines. It's hot. All right, so we got the fuel lines out. See, these are the factory lines. Got to mount one piece. Was a giant pain in the ass to do so. But just to show you the comparison. It's the new fuel line. So I'll show you here at the. So it looks pretty thick here, but this is just like insulation. It's like covering. And this is the actual fuel line size right here, so you can see the diameter difference just there. But I mean, the inside diameter of this is about the outside diameter of this stuff. So yeah, should be a good upgrade. So I'm gonna go ahead and uncoil this, and should be enough. I'm just gonna go ahead and run it along these lines just to see if we got enough fuel lines. Sorry, I have breath. So all right, so show you how to put together these guys here. So this is PTEF or PTFE. I think it's PTEF. PTFE. Okay. So PTFE stands for polyterafluoroethylene. We'll just keep calling it PTFE. So these types of hoses are rated for E85 and alcohol-based fuels. They aren't rubber, so you don't have to worry about them degrading over time or anything like that. So they do go together slightly different than the rubber hoses. So like I said, take your end there, pull that off. First thing you're going to do, take this ferrule. So the idea is to get this down around the inner, the tube, the nylon. Well, it's not nylon, but the PTFE. So it doesn't seem to want to focus. There's gotta be a way to make this thing focus. But anyways, the white tube should be flush with the top of that ferrule. You know what I should have did though, is that this was supposed to go on first. So, pull this guy off. I'm a big dummy. So remember to put this piece on first. This guy goes on first before you spread this guy out. Alright, so I didn't fuck it up too bad. Pushed it back a little, but alright, so then that guy goes on. Like so. And this guy goes inside of there, like so, nice and flush. And then the fun part, so that goes on like so. So if I was professional, I'd have some nice protective wrenches for this, but I don't. Some people will wrap these in tape before going down. I guess I can try that. I was gonna say the tape usually ends up just tearing, and you still end up messing up the finish on the connector. This one I don't really care about because it'll be under it'll be near the fuel tank, so you'll never see it. But I'll still try my best to preserve its beauty. See, I would think by design that this should be flush, but it really doesn't feel like I can turn that anymore. I really wish there was a way I could pressure test this before putting it into the car. I guess maybe there might be a way. I don't know. But anyways, that's how you assemble these guys. So you put an end on there. That should be good to about a bajillion PSI. Hopefully we'll never rupture. Before I actually connect this to the fuel rail, I'll you know, run the pump with one end disconnected just so it flushes the line out. But yeah, that should be good. So I'll do a little research, find out if that's acceptable or if that needs to be completely tight against there. And then after I finish that, I will go ahead and I will run this underneath the car. What's going on, guys? Hopefully you can hear me with the fan on behind me. So what we're working on here are these are the rails that hold the fuel lines and the brake lines. So these two are brake lines. These two are brake lines, and then you've got fuel return and fuel send, whatever, and then the evap line. And so what I've started doing, at first I was just going to take them off and zip tie or cut them and just run the lines in and zip tie them on, but there's actually just enough meat in there that you can grind these out, you know, using a burr tool, these actually kind of fit. I mean, they're obviously still kind of pushed to their limits, but it fits pretty nicely. And yeah, there's not a whole lot of meat left on there, but this material is pretty stiff, and I don't know, I'm fairly confident that should work. So got a few more of these, and just as a comparison of what they look like side by side, before and after, you can see just how much material has to be taken out. But I think that'll work. So I'm gonna go ahead and keep grinding away at these, and then we'll go ahead and start running those fuel lines. So yeah, so we'll go ahead and do the rest, and then we'll check back in when I'm done. Alright, so I've got some figuring out to do, because I got a blank engine bay here, but I don't remember. I gotta go look at some pictures and stuff and see exactly what the engine bay looks like with the engine in it, because this is a pretty large fuel filter. So the factory fuel filter went right about here, so I know I got plenty of room, right? You know, I might just leave it there. My only concern of leaving it there is that if I get involved in any type of actual race stuff, which I plan on doing, you can't. Sweet, awesome. You're not supposed to have fuel lines and fuel filters lined up with the flywheel, basically. If it crosses the flywheel, it's gotta be armored and all that shit. So I was really hoping to be able to drag the line over here and mount the filter somewhere over here, so that it's not in line with the transmission, because, you know, if the flywheel shatters and sends shrapnel out, they don't want it puncturing fuel lines and all that type of stuff. So my only thing is, I don't remember how much space is right here, because this would be just about perfect, because then I can plug those holes, and then this will, of course, shield those holes. I guess I do it that way so that I can actually access the media inside of the filter. But I don't know if there's enough space. There should be enough space. I know the intake manifold sits pretty low, but yeah, I'm gonna have to go watch some videos and stuff and see exactly what's where before I decide on any permanent mounting. So once I cut this line, it's cut, and technically can't extend it, so I got some thinking to do. Hey guys, what's going on? Whoop. Alright, so welcome back. Actually, this probably isn't really a welcome back, because I haven't finished the other video yet. I don't know, this is kind of an interlude. So last video, I started running fuel lines and stuff like that. So this is where we left off with. In fact, I probably just need to go ahead and film that stuff. So I got the fuel lines ran under the car. They're all neat and tidy. Got them ran into the engine bay. I need to figure out some transition here. Ideally, I probably should have had like a 90-degree or fitting or something, but I'll figure something out for that. But yeah, this is the current engine bay situation for right now. I got the fuel filter mounted over here on the fender. Nice Dash 8 AN line. Like I said, I'll get buttoned up so it's flush against there. Get some heat shrink on there so that it's not real close to the exhaust. This is the return. I'll have to figure out something where exactly I'm going to mount that. It will probably be, so our flex fuel sensor will probably go somewhere around there. And then the, sweet. So obviously we'll have a fitting, maybe it'll go up here, I don't know. The way that line is, might be a better spot. So yeah, flex fuel sensor probably up there maybe, since that's how long I made the line. And then, yeah, I don't know. Anyways, so with the fuel lines basically done, mostly done, just gotta clean up some stuff. I want to repaint the brake booster and try and clean some of this corrosion and stuff off, just make it look prettier. Get some of the overspray. Well, that's not coming off of there. I don't know. I might try like a nylon brush and some acetone. Maybe some of that overspray will come off. Probably not. I'll probably just end up just you know, some flat black paint and just paint all that shit black. You know, I mean clean it up obviously, but just paint over it just to get it clean. But yeah, so that's basically it for the fuel stuff. Yeah, like I said, the fuel lines are ran. I think I left my lights on down there, so both batteries are probably dead. I'll stick the GoPro up under there or something. That might work. This will come on. So there we go. You can see the fuel lines ran nice and neat and tidy all the way back to the tank. Still working on up front here. Well, can't really see because sorry, it's hard to do with there we go. So yeah, we can see the lines there, ran all the way up front into the little shield there, and yeah. Whoops. So that's the fuel lines for now. I tested the fuel lines, or tested to make sure they didn't leak by basically I just connected the return to the top of the exit of the filter, used a Milwaukee 12-volt battery and let it chooch for a bit. Didn't see any leaks. Granted, that's at like practically no pressure, so once it's pressurized, you know, once the fuel rail is in place, she might leak a bit. Hopefully not, but we'll see. But that'd be it for this video. Till next time, guys. This is not really, I forgot to say, now that the fuel lines are ran, I'm going to go ahead and get this engine prepped to go back into the engine bay after I finish cleaning the engine bay. But yeah. Alright, till next time.